What is going on, you guys? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the pros and the cons, the good and the ugly of living in Eastvale, California. And if you guys stick around until the end, I'm going to share a market recap of the current real estate market here in Eastvale, California. So let's get after it right now. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything that there is about living, eating, breathing in Eastvale, California, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current real estate market in Eastvale, California. You guys, my name is Jonathan Hernandez. My team and I get calls and emails every single day from people just like you looking to make their move. You guys, we absolutely love it. So whether you guys are moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom with us one-on-one. We would love to help you guys make that smooth move to Eastvale, California. Like I stated earlier, you guys, I am going to be covering the pros, the cons, the goods, the bads, and the uglies of living in Eastvale, California. Before I do, I want to give you guys a little bit of insight of Eastvale, what they have to offer. Also, I want to mention that I do have a vlog tour of Eastvale, California. So you guys did want to see some neighborhoods, some houses, some price points, check out that video. Pretty neat video to give you guys a little bit more education. So Eastvale, California, you guys, has a population of a little over 63,000 people and growing. Majority of the populace did migrate and did influx from Los Angeles County and Orange County, right? And so back in the days, the early 90s, Eastvale was a big like dairy farm, like just a bunch of farmlands, rural area. Today, not so much suburban residential type of area feeling, just because again, the influx of people and all the people that have migrated inland for affordability. And so Eastvale, California, you guys, it is an inland empire in Riverside County, where again, majority of the populace from LA and Orange tend to move to because of affordability, the cost of living, and the things that, you know, it has to offer. So it's a really cool thing about Eastvale, California, you guys. Now, Eastvale does have two postal zip codes that they do share with Corona, California and Mira Loma. So Eastvale, it is still fairly small when we're talking land size. They are fairly small population wise. They're fairly big for how small they are. Now, Money Magazine actually ranked them #1 place to live in the whole state of California. And I think they're ranked in the top 10 of places to live in the whole United States. It's pretty amazing, you guys. So, you know, why or what does that what does that consist of, you guys? I'm trying to think of the words, drew a little blank. So what consisted of making that decision of like the #1 place to live in California or top 10, top 20 in the whole nation? Well, you guys, they look at everything. They look over 60 different factors when it comes to ranking these places to live. So one, for example, can be the taxes, the education, the accessibility to health, the cost of living, the weather, everything, guys. And Eastvale, California was ranked really, really high. So that's just a little bit of information of Eastvale, California, you guys. Like I said, let's go into the pros and the cons, the goods, the bads, and the uglies. So before I do, I want to give you guys your dessert before I give you your veggies. So I'll be going over the pros before I go over the cons. So let's get into the pros and cons, you guys. So the #1 pro of living in Eastvale, California, you guys, it's going to be, the drum roll please, education, you guys. The education. So the education in Eastvale, California is actually shared with the Corona and the Norco Unified School District. So if you guys watch my previous vlog of Eastvale, I did talk about how Eastvale is fairly newly incorporated as their own independent city as of October 1st of 2010, so a little over 10 years old. Eastvale, California became their own independent city. So they used to be unincorporated to Riverside County and all the little major cities surrounded by them. Now they're actually their own independent city. So they do still share a couple of things to other, you know, cities surrounding it because they haven't expanded and grown to where they need to be yet. So they do share Corona Unified School District, Corona and Norco, which is really, really, really great, you guys, because the school districts, there's only 7 schools in Eastvale, and they're all highly rated, you guys. The school district is really, really well. Again, none of the schools are ranked below a 7 out of 10. That is pretty freaking good, you guys. A 7 out of 10. All the schools are highly rated. When we're talking about academics, we're talking about the sports, the teacher to student ratio, we're talking about everything. And so that's why we're saying that the education is a #1 pro of living in Eastvale, California. Now let's go to pro number 2. All right, guys, so number 2 pro of living in Eastvale, California, you guys, it is going to be the employment. The employment, you guys. So the employment in Eastvale, California is actually really, really well. They actually do really good because they got some big companies there that, you know, that fund the city and that hire a lot of people. More jobs means more money, more flow. Really great for the economy, right? So Eastvale, California's biggest employer is actually Amazon, of all places. You might be thinking, what? Amazon? Yes, Amazon. So they have a big fulfillment center around Eastvale and at Eastvale, right? So they hire over 5,000 residents from Eastvale, California alone. And I'm not just saying that Costco is, you know, one big major employer from the Fortune 500 companies, right? We also have Walmart. We also have Ingram Micro. We have the Corona and Norco Unified School District. We also have Costco. So, and there's much more, right? But those are like the main top 5 really that make up kind of the employment in Eastvale, California, you guys, which is really, really good still. Like I stated, because you guys, the more employment, the more jobs, that's more money, that really stimulates the economy. So that's really, really well. And so you guys, if you're ever looking to relocate to Eastvale, you know that employment is there. So plus all the benefits that they give, the wages that you can earn, you guys, it's such an amazing place to go. If we're talking about education and we're talking about employment, I've already sold myself, which is pretty funny. But no, I'm just kidding, you guys. But no, again, employment, it is pro number 2. Now let's get into pro number 3. All right, you guys. So pro number 3 of living in Eastvale, California, you guys, it is the diversity. So diversity in Eastvale, California is extremely well. Again, it's extremely diverse because, like I mentioned earlier, majority of the population, the populace in Eastvale, they have migrated from the coastal cities, and the coastal cities themselves are extremely diverse from basically every corner of the world. And so when you have those people that can influx over here, you know, they're kind of changing it up a little bit. So they're helping the diversity in Eastvale, California. So it's kind of really rad, you guys, that you kind of can see that. And when I'm talking about diversity, I'm not just talking about, you know, the race thing. I'm talking about everything it has to offer. You have varieties of different types of restaurants or different types of cultures, different types of things that you guys can kind of do with the community as a whole. So the diversity is actually really big when it comes to, you know, living at a place. You know, if you're coming from a small place, like I used to live in a small place called Dalton, Georgia, very small area in Northwest Georgia. Wasn't very diverse at the time when I lived there, and I've been all over the United States and some parts of the world. But when I come and I live in California, and you know, I was stuck in a small place where it wasn't very diverse, I didn't really, my mind didn't expand or didn't really know much. But now that I've lived and learned all these things from living in all these great places, it's taught me so much. And it's really amazing that you can kind of see that when you come to small little places like Eastvale, California. You guys will get the diversity. It's gonna be there, and I love it. It's by hand one of my favorite things about going to places is meeting the people and meeting what type of things they have to offer and what the city has to offer. So diversity, again, you guys, that's why we're naming diversity pro number 3 of living in Eastvale, California. Now I do have one final dessert to give you guys before I start giving you guys your veggies. So let's get into that. So the number 4 pro of living in Eastvale, California, you guys, it is the goodness for families or the greatness for families. However you want to put it, kind of a weird way to put it, But if you're a family-oriented person, Eastvale, California might just be for you. Why? Because of everything that they have to offer. Again, the education is there, the employment is there, the diversity is there, you guys, and they have a tremendous amounts of parks. They have over like 9 or 12 parks. I can't remember the top of my head, but you guys, they have trails, parks, a lot of activities, recreational activities to do with your kids. So again, it is a very family-oriented place. Again, smaller suburban type of feeling of environment, really residential area. So majority of Eastvale kind of consists of homes, right? Because that's, you know, it is not a big land size where, you know, you can host skyscrapers or big, huge buildings and a bunch of warehouses. You're not really gonna get all that much in Eastvale, but you do have a very residential feeling where you go to a safe neighborhood and you do have the great education and you do have great employment. So it is really good if you're trying to raise a family, because everything that you need to have to raise a family, it's there. Whether you need the convenience stores, the Costco, the Walmarts, the parks, you know, a mountain biking trail, or you want to teach your kids how to ride horses, right? You want to teach them how to horseback ride or anything of that nature. That is there in Eastvale, California. And I'm only bringing up horseback riding because, again, there used to be a dairy farm back in like the early 90s and the late 80s. And so, you know, that kind of culture is still somewhat there, where you can go to a place and find a horseback riding place, you know, that you can ride a horse, or they can teach you for like $90 for an hour and a half or whatever the case may be. But that's why we're kind of saying that it's really great for families. And if you are, you know, planning to start a family, this is a great place to be for you. And so that's going to finish all the pros of living in Eastvale, California. Now, you guys, let's get into the cons. All right, guys, so here we are, con time. All right, so I am going to give you the bads and the uglies, right? I'm going to give you guys your veggies now. Want. So your con number 1 and con number 2, I'm going to give it to you together. It kind of goes hand in hand. And so you guys will kind of understand why right now. But the con number 1, you guys, is the growth in the sprawl. Con number 2 is traffic. Again, they kind of go hand in hand. Well, what about the growth in sprawl, Jonathan? Well, like I mentioned earlier, right? Majority of the populace did influx from LA or Orange County, right? Well, you guys, like I said, by no means is Eastvale big landmass wise. And when you're starting to grow very rapidly and an influx of people come, that tends to bring in an influx of vehicles or cars, which tends to make more traffic, right? And so that's kind of one of the biggest cons of living in Eastvale, California. Right now, it's not totally horrendous. It's not like crazy bad. There's definitely a lot more places worse than this when it comes to growth and sprawl and traffic. However, it is a con that I did want to bring up because it is important. If you're looking to stay here long term, you can kind of see that in the foreseeable future. Hopefully with the new infrastructure and everything that they're building, they're definitely going to get better at that. But at the immediate future, in the next 3 to 5 years, the traffic's still going to be there, you guys. The growth in the sprawl is still going to be there. And so that's why we're labeling that as con number 1 and number 2. Now, you guys, final and last con. This is finishing off the veggies for you guys. It is going to be the entertainment, okay? So if you guys are big into the nightlife, let's say, right, and you're younger, maybe you like to go to the bars and do bar hopping, have a good beer, go to some breweries, stuff like that, Eastvale, California is probably not going to be for you. All right, so if you're looking for the amusement parks and all the cool, fun activities to do with that, again, Eastvale doesn't have that. What they do have is the parks, right? They do have the family stuff, the schools, the employment, you guys. They do have the walking trails, the horseback riding, but the entertainment as far as, the indoor living is probably not as there as much as I want to say is the outdoor living. So Eastvale, it is kind of more of an outdoor living type of area, especially if you do have kids, right? So again, that is why we're naming that the third and final con, right? The entertainment is just not there. However, 10, 15 minutes down the road, you guys can be in a whole different city where you can do all the entertainment that you would love to do, right? But as far as Eastvale, California, it just doesn't have it. Now, I hope this was all really helpful to you guys, and I hope you guys got a good understanding of what Eastvale has to offer. And so with all that being said, now I'm gonna go into a market recap so we can really talk about the current real estate market of Eastvale, California. All right, guys, so market recap time again. I hope you guys enjoyed the pros and the cons, the ugly, the goods, the bads, and the desserts and the veggies, right? So I hope those 4 pros helped you guys. I hope those 3 cons also helped. And I'll just reiterate a little bit of things that I mentioned already earlier. The population, it's a little over 63,000 people. Some census say 65. However, I wanna be conservative, so I'm going with 63. The population will maybe over 65, but hey, I'm just shooting for 63 because that's kind of want to be on the conservative side. So ranging 63 to 65, you guys, population of Eastvale, California. Again, very family-oriented place of living. So if you do have kids and you want to raise your children in a good environment where the crime is not so bad, the education is great, and the employment is awesome, Eastvale, California might be for you, right? But if you guys are more into the nightlife, or you like to go out and about and you like to go explore to do different types of things, the entertainment is not there for say as much as you would like it to be. Now, outdoor activities, definitely there, you guys. You can do that all day long, probably literally all day long. You can stay outside just trying different type of outdoor activities in Eastvale. As far as indoor entertainment, not as much. And so that's kind of what Eastvale has to offer. You guys, majority of the population in Eastvale, they do own their home. About 77% of the residents in Eastvale own their home, which is really, really good. That just means 23% are renters, right? That's a really great ratio to have. You always wanna have more homeowners than you do renters. Now, if you guys wanna, a bad statistic would be, 50-50, or maybe 60% renters, 40% homeowners. That is not a place that you guys want to be if you guys are trying to raise kids. If you're living a fast life and you're constantly moving, then that's, you could be okay with the 60% residents renting, right? But as far as like, I want to raise my family, you guys, I want my kids to go to a good education, or I just want a slower pace of living where it's not tremendously bad in population, and it's not tremendously bad in, traffic or weather. Eastvale, California is probably going to be for you. If you are looking for the slower pace of life, if you're looking for, whether it's the education, or you do have the kids, or maybe outdoor activities, again, Eastvale is for you. But if you're looking for the other things, if you're looking for bar hopping, if you're looking for wine tasting, if you're looking, to try out some cool breweries or go to some amusement parks, Eastvale, California probably won't be for you, you guys. But the jobs are there. That's a plus, right? So that's pretty much all that Eastvale, California has to offer you guys. Again, watch my video on Eastvale, California, my vlog tour that I did. It kind of talks over neighborhoods, houses, prices, so that can kind of gauge you to really understand what it really has to offer as well. And so with all that being said, thank you guys for watching Living in South California.